ready to put my guy Craig Breslow on the hot seat?
Oh, yeah. He put himself on the hot seat yesterday. Yesterday with the Greg Hill show, he was like, listen, depending on how this next week goes, then I can join you at the last road show.
He put himself on there.
Put himself right on there.
Squarely on the hot seat. That is true.
It hasn't gone super great for him this year, or really since he's taken over.
Well, and I hate to say it, Keefe, but we were wrong yesterday on the show.
How's that?
We said the Red Sox are off. What's the worst that could happen to the Red Sox?
Well,
turns out Rafael Devers smacked a homer. Now, it was a 5-0 game. And the Giants lost again. They have the same record with Devers that the Red Sox have without him.
Cadillacked it around the bases.
You were telling me that. I guess I didn't notice
forever.
That.
So he smashes the ball, and like his momentum took him sort of into the righty's batter's box, and that's where he watched it until it landed in the seats, and then he jogged around the bases like he was, like a double groin injury. You're like, what are you doing? Like, you're losing. Just get around.
5-0 game.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, he tied it.
Oh, that was the tying home run?
I believe that was the tying.
All right, well, they lost the game anyway.
No.
I thought they made it 5-5.
No, made it 5-2. It's 5-0 when he hit the home run, and then they got smoked. 12-5. Yeah, I mean,
look, a big Devers defender.
I'm on Team Devers.
I don't have much to latch onto here, so just let me latch onto that. It was a 5-0 game when he hit the home run.
I should know better than Jones is pretty in on this.
That's true. And my guy, Craig Breslow, acquired another guy I like, Kyle Harrison.
How'd he do?
He made his debut for Worcester
last
night.
Kyle Harrison? Oh, good. Woo Sox?
Let me just get the exact numbers.
Go Woo Sox.
Because Nick made sure to forward them.
Better or worse than
that
Tanner
wasn't
Houck?
Actually the final numbers.
These aren't final numbers?
I had 2 hits onto those numbers.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So 3+ innings of work, 8 hits, 4 earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts. He did allow a home run for the Woo Sox.
Right. Anderson, Hicks, they both suck.
That guy might have been onto something.
That guy kind of nailed it.
That was the other problem with Breslow is he's really hyping up the return. Like they were basically the question was along the lines of, hey, if you had eaten some of Devers' money, could you have gotten better players? He's like, whoa, guys.
Don't shortchange what we got.
These are pretty good players. We have a high leverage reliever. I'm like, where? And he's like, and a starting pitcher that we could slot in right after Garrett Crochet. It's like, you do? So he thinks
pitchers in the room with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about? You didn't get players to be named later where you could be like, hey, maybe we'll get those things. He thinks that Hicks is like a setup man and Harrison's a top end of the rotation starter? No.
Well, not based on his first outing.
I know. I mean, listen.
For the Woo Sox, or much of what we've seen in the majors over parts of 3 years.
I was going to say, like, you didn't get anything yet that is helping this team, and it doesn't seem like you did at all.
No. So even I am willing to admit that it's not going well for my guy, Craig Breslow.
It's going poorly.
And the Red Sox. They have 3 with the Blue Jays at Fenway. And, I thought it was interesting what Greg was discussing today. And it's Jones and Keefe, WEEI. You can dial us up here on a Friday, 617-779-7937. That's your phone number to get in touch. It's also the text line here at WEEI. A lot of text rolling there. You can interact Twitter and Instagram at Jones and Keefe. You can watch and chat twitch.tv/Boston WEEI. Always a healthy chat going on Twitch. And watch on YouTube. You can subscribe to WEEI. But Greg made this point over and over again while I was driving. He's like, if they get swept, they lose 2 out of 3. It has the potential to get ugly this weekend at Fenway. And the last time we said this was the opening home series for the Red Sox. We're like, if Devers doesn't turn it around and they come back against the Cardinals and he keeps striking out. Remember the awful start Devers got off to?
Like a historic start.
A historically bad start. Yeah. I'm like, the fans are going to turn on him quick. And I believe that. The team turned it around. He turned it around. Didn't come to fruition.
Right.
But this Red Sox team is facing the exact same thing. You come back home. The fan base is not thrilled with the trade. I've tried to defend it, but the fan base isn't thrilled with it. They're not thrilled with the product on the field. They're not thrilled with the GM. They're not thrilled with the return. They're angry that Devers is gone. And you come out and lose 2 out of 3, get swept, heaven forbid. It has the potential to turn quick on Breslow, Cora, and the Red Sox this weekend.
Yeah, it's a mess. People are mad, as they should be, because this isn't like last season when you were playing 500 and you're like, you know what, that's kind of better than we thought, right? Like the expectations for this team were so high. We thought they might win 90 games or certainly in the high 80s competing for a wild card spot. And as bad as the American League is, they're still just falling further and further out of it. They're not scoring runs. They got like one guy basically that can pitch. So, yeah, people are pissed. And then whether you like Devers or not, right? Because I think the fan base was somewhat split. Just being like, all right, the guy's not, playing in the field. And he's kind of a turd and all this stuff. but he was hitting. And now a team that's not scoring runs, you remove one of your best hitters and you don't add anybody to the active roster right away. How is that a commitment to 2025? Because that's what Breslow also said. We're gonna try to add to 2025. All you've done so far is subtracted from 2025.
Yep.
That's that's tough. And you're not even breaking even.
And
like,
they might not
subtracted.
be done based on the reporting of Jeff Passan and the Athletic.
Oh my God,
Duran and Bregman and Chapman and guys like that could all be on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, who'd have thought that they'd be playing in this sort of state right now? So you're right. I mean, a 5-game losing streak is brutal, and now you're playing a Toronto team that is certainly no great shakes. They're better than you.
5 or 6. 7 or 8. Good call.
It might be 7 or 8. The losing streak.
Oh,
by the time
no, it could be 7 or 8 for sure. Yeah,
but yeah, now they're in focus. They're at home, and you could see it getting pretty ugly. For sure.
Depending on how the next week goes, I might be able to make myself available.
That is true. That is actually true. That is. Now I thought that Breslow might have a little bit more job security, believe it or not, than Alex Cora. But there's also a scenario that they're both gone.
Okay, hot seat. Who's got the hotter seat? Cora or Breslow?
Cora. I'm going to say Cora. I think Cora should.
I heard Curtis say this today. Curtis is like, if they get swept by the Blue Jays, Cora's out, which I hadn't really thought about. I think Cora's inching his way to the hot seat, but
if they didn't just sign him to an extension, then I would say
he would have gone weeks ago if he didn't have the extension.
Yeah.
But I
think Cora is more on the hot
Cora's
seat.
seat is hotter than Breslow's, but it's getting close.
I know.
Even us Breslow defenders have to acknowledge it's getting spicy. The team better turn it around and turn it around quick, or the guys you acquired, Hicks and Harrison, better start pitching well just in AAA.
Yeah.
And then ultimately get here and help the team in the major leagues. Something has to turn quickly for this team, or everybody's hot seat's going to burn up on them.
Do you think, because John Henry, how many baseball players do you think John Henry can name in the league? 8?
Oh, current baseball players? I was going to say, you'd have like Stan Musial and guys like that.
Stan the man.
Current baseball players? Not many.
Yeah.
He's probably like, I know Aaron Judge.
He's like
I know
Alex
Ohtani.
Cora. You're like, well, no, current players.
Ortiz.
David Poppy.
Yeah.
So my point is, when he was like, all right, we got to get rid of Devers, and then Breslow explains to him, like, hey, we found a deal, we got rid of Devers. Does Breslow say in the moment, all right, these are the 4 guys we got back?
He's the guy making $313 million. John,
He's like,
that's
right.
him. Yeah.
No, but like, even John Henry would have to be like, what are we getting back? And did Breslow say, good news, we're getting a starting pitcher and a reliever? And Henry's like, all right, that seems pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's a good return. And then weeks go by, you've lost 5 straight games. Does he say, what about those guys that you got? Are those guys play for our team? How are they doing? Are they doing well?
Harrison, Hicks, they both suck.
He's like, well, Hicks isn't ready, but he'll be ready. Harrison, we're going to have him start a bunch of games in Worcester, apparently, get shelled down there, and then maybe call him up. But like that part of it's going to be insane. Now, I know a lot of people might just say Henry doesn't care. Henry's got rid of the contract. So Henry's happy about getting rid of the contract. But at some level, he's making some of these moves and even going back to like firing Chaim Bloom because he does want to at least get back to the playoffs. Because you can make more money that way, right? Like, so that's part of it. Like, missing out on the playoffs year to year.
At a certain point, he's like, no one's showing up to the ballpark. This is what was happening with Bloom, where Dodgers fans were storming the ballpark. Tickets were going for $1 on the secondary market for Red Sox, Yankees. And it's like, okay, our fans are checking out. Other fan bases are showing up. Our fans are checking out.
You think Reds fans will be here?
We got to pretend to keep people happy. And so I'm going to fire Bloom, or I'll fire the manager, or I'll fire Breslow, or whatever.
Yeah.
None of it really matters to him.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's a bigger factor. Him worried about the business bottom line and losing fans than making a playoff run.
Could be, but he also did, and I'm not trying to throw him a parade for this, but he did sign Alex Bregman or approve the signing of Bregman at $41 million annually.
It's not nothing.
And then
smoking a cigar to let you know.
That's true.
Right. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
That's a freezing cold takes or whatever. Then you have, they trade for Garrett Crochet and they extend him right away. Now, these aren't Juan Soto contracts, but they're more than what they were doing. So that you would think would say, all right, we want to be competitive. We're sick of being in last place or a scrappy 500 team. And then now you see this year, we're like, oh, it's going to be even worse than that. It's going to be closer to maybe 2 years ago than it was even last year.
So you guys can discuss 617-779-7937. You can also text like this gentleman did, or ma'am. Jones should be on the hot seat.
Ooh.
I think we always are.
If
you think we don't think we're on the hot seat,
we live our lives that way. So
we're very aware, day to day, on the hot seat. Jarren Duran,
Boom, roasted.
Jarren Duran was on the Section 10 podcast with Jared Carrabis, who they just had a
Wait
big
a
old dust up.
minute.
Yeah,
I thought
he was dead to him.
Carrabis was done with him.
that's what I thought.
So then he hopped on the pod. Did they smooth things over? I haven't
Hopped on
listened
the
to
pod.
it.
Well, I trust me, I didn't listen to the
Okay.
whole thing, but
All
Nick
right.
did pull this. He was asked about the Devers trade and how the team feels about Rafi. Here's what Jarren Duran had to say.
Talking to Jared about this earlier is like people, I feel like people wanted us to dwell on it, but it's like, what is that going to do? It's not going to bring them back. Like, people are like, oh, maybe they didn't like Rafi or they didn't care or stuff like that. I'm like, no, but like, what's crying about it going to do? It's not going to bring him back. Like, he's gone. He's on the Giants now. He's doing his thing over there. So like, we have to do our thing over here. So when people are like, oh, like honestly, like, to the fans, like, if you're mad about it, like, you guys can be mad about it because you don't have to go and perform on the field the next day. Like, we don't have that luxury to be upset about it because I got to go out and win a game the next day with or without Rafi. So, but I mean, we were always a pretty close group. And I think just all these people getting upset about it, it's obviously made us closer because it's like, all right, well, they think we're going to suck without Rafi. Like, well, we have to go prove them wrong now. So that's just something else we're going to have to prove people wrong.
What was your relationship like with Rafi when he was on the team?
It was good.
Yeah.
I loved Rafi. I love Rafi. I still love him. I mean, it was always funny to see him smiling and laughing and acting like a kid. I mean, everybody sees him smiling and laughing, like, and sitting on his cooler in the dugout.
Okay. All right.
That like a full-throated. Oh,
What's in the cooler?
You tell me what jumped out there. A
what's
few
in the
different,
cooler?
a few different things. Yeah.
Well, he's like, what do you want us to do? Like, what do you, because I think their natural reaction was like, all right, good, see you later, you're gone. And then they probably heard some of the backlash and people questioning like what it was. And they're like, oh, like, well, what do you want us to do? Like, be upset about it? It's like, well, in years past, the Red Sox have traded players and players on the roster have been upset. When Christian Vasquez got traded, mindset wasn't, oh, what are you going to do? It's not going to bring him back. No, they were pissed.
They were angry.
And they made it very clear that they were pissed. These guys were fine that he was gone. And, you know, maybe they're sensitive to some of the criticism or the discussion that has led to it.
So I don't think this
It was good.
That's not a full-throated defense of Devers.
good.
How was your relationship? One more time,
It was
Jared?
good.
Good. Yeah. Hey, how's your marriage going?
It was good.
Yeah,
It was
good.
good.
Oh, yeah, no, don't ask anything. It's good.
Ugh, that's past tense.
No problems there.
Past tense. What's going on there?
That's good. Good.
No problems.
Everything with Cat Gray.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah, so I
It was
wouldn't-
good.
I wouldn't exactly call that a full-throated defense.
No,
I do
'cause
like
you know what he
Jarren
said
Duran.
you know what he said at first when he was asked about it? He's like, well, I went to sleep. He's like, they took Rafi off the bus, or the plane. They took Rafi off the plane, and I was like, wow, there goes Rafael Devers. And then I don't really know what else to tell you because me and Rob Refsnyder took naps. That's what he said. Yeah. He wasn't exactly broken up over it. He fell asleep on the plane.
Look, they don't care. Now, I will say to my guy, Jarren Duran, and apparently now Carrabis' guy as well.
They're best buds. Did they mention how much they hated each other at the beginning of the podcast?
I don't know. The Twitch chat has listened to it, and they're claiming that Jared went real soft in the interview.
Got it.
John in the car, good friend, is saying he predicted all along that Carrabis just wanted attention this week. That's why he went off on Duran to get the interview and get attention on the interview.
And maybe get some ears on it
Maybe.
because you're like, hey, listen up.
Could be.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if Carrabis is done with Duran, maybe the Red Sox are done with Duran, but that seems to be smoothed over. No, it's just Duran coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to prove people wrong. I would start doing that now-ish. I would start with tonight against the Blue Jays. I would start with this weekend against the Blue Jays, because if you don't,
they got to get going.
You're not going to be able to dig your way out.
They do need to get going. They
I would
need to
start
prove
that.
they're better. And if the team is really closer because Devers is gone, and they're more motivated because Devers is gone, like you gotta go out there and show it.
It was good.
5 straight losses have not been good. It has not been very good. No.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
617-779-7937. That trade gets worse by the day, even when the Red Sox don't play. Devers homered last night in a loss. Kyle Harrison pitched for the Woo Sox and didn't go well.
Just gave up another hit.
He gave up a tater and a bunch of home runs, a bunch of runs, rather. Jarren Duran with a kind of sort of defense of Rafi Devers.